Hi, presenting the story for Maya Katha. Today is Friday, the first Friday of June. I am Sharda Sampath Kumar, a storyteller from Bangalore. So, welcome to the first story. It was in the year 1943, and my father was transferred to this village called Chandagad. This village Chandagad was situated in the border of Maharashtra and Karnataka. Okay, now 8 months in a year it rained very severely. Okay, there was immense rainfall for 8 months, and only 4 months of time was there for other activities, and the only activity that happened during the remaining 4 months was tree cutting. Otherwise, there was nothing exciting about this small village called Chandagad. Here, my father had been transferred. He was a young medical doctor who had been transferred from Pune. And there used to be no patients coming to this clinic. Okay, it was a small clinic where my father had been posted to. The reason why there were no patients was there are two. Okay, what are the two reasons? One, it was a very small village, and in villages you all know, right, that most of their ailments people treat themselves with the locally available herbs and plants. Okay, so there was nobody in this clinic most of the time. And the reason why this clinic was actually set up was because early days British officers used to come to the jungle which was situated near this village, okay, for hunting. So just as an emergency measure for those British officers, this clinic was set up. Okay, so there were no human connections in this clinic. Okay, only my father, and the only friend my father had in this place was a calendar that was hanging on the wall. Okay, and my father used to try to go for morning walks, but what would happen, he would just go for a walk and immediately he would realize he heard the roar of tigers, and so he, in that fear, he would immediately come back in the same speed as he had started for the walk. And several times he would find quite late in the evening or any time of the day, snakes would be slithering on the ground just before the threshold of the main door. Okay, and one day it was a morning. Okay, there he heard heavy breathing during that morning, and then he realized that when he peeped out from the window, he saw there was a huge tigress who was sitting in front of the main door with her tiger cubs, proudly and stretching and yawning. And my father did not step out of the house that whole day. So such was the situation of this clinic in Chandagad. And there were days when he would see from outside the glass pane of his window, snakes would be hanging like ropes from the top of the sunshade. Okay, and he would hear the sounds of animals all throughout, especially during the nights and all that. So such was the condition of the place where he was living. It was one night that this happened. It was heavily raining, and my father had finished an early dinner and he was sitting by the side of his kerosene lamp near the bed and he was reading a book. It was then that he heard this knock on the door. Now, I have already explained the scene of this clinic. So this, got him really anxious. But it was somebody knocking. So he decided that he would go and open it. So as soon as he opened the door, he found there were 4 men wrapped in woolen shawls and were standing with sticks in their hands. So they told him, okay, as soon as he opened the door, they told him, Dr. Sahib, you must come with us immediately. And these 4 men stood there, okay, and they were villagers. So my father refused initially. He was a little apprehensive, he was a little scared to go, and he said, you have come quite late, and where? I cannot come, it is raining so heavily. But the villagers insisted that he should come along with them. So my father did not have a choice. So he picked up his medical bag quickly and locked the door of his house, of his clinic, and he went along with them. And there was a bullock cart that was waiting for them. And he got into this bullock cart and the 4 men went along with him. It was a very long journey. And after, gathering some courage, my father asked the 4 men in the bullock cart, where are you taking me? There was no answer. And there was complete silence. So the journey continued, and after a considerate amount of time, the bullock cart stopped, and my father observed that they had landed in a place which was surrounded by paddy fields, and right in the middle of a paddy field was this small house. Okay, so as soon as the bullock cart stopped in front of the house, my father was quickly taken inside, and as soon as he entered the house, a female voice quickly, screamed out to him, Doctor, the patient is here. And my father was sent into a room and bolted from outside. My father saw that there was an old woman in that room, and a 16-year-old girl was sitting, and it was so obvious that she was in severe labor pain. She had a huge stomach and she was in labor pain. Now, he told this woman quickly, okay, that see, I am a male doctor and I am not used to handling deliveries. I'm not a gynecologist. So he knocked the door from the inside and the men opened it, and he told them, see, I am a male doctor and I am not qualified to handle this kind of a medical emergency. So please let me go. I think you must call someone appropriate for this. But the men were very rough and they told him that you don't have a choice. You have to complete this right now. We don't care whether the baby is dead or alive, but save the girl and complete this operation. So they pushed him inside, okay, they shoved him inside again and bolted the door from outside. So as the girl was struggling in pain, my father had to literally think of everything, his medical instincts could give him, whatever, how to handle a pregnancy, a delivery, okay. So, and moreover, she was the first patient in many days for my father in that village. So he had to think and act quickly. So he quickly opened his bag and told this old woman to boil some water and sterilize his medical instruments, while he pulled out a rubber sheet from his medical bag and he looked for a place to spread it. But there was no cot or table in that room. So he noticed that there were some sacks of rice grains, okay, paddy. So he, with the help of this old woman, quickly made a makeshift bed with these sacks of paddy grains, and he made a makeshift bed and he spread the rubber sheet on top of that and asked the girl to lie down on it. And now her contractions had gone to its peak. Okay, she was having severe pain, contractions, labor pain, and she was sweating profusely, and so was my father, because it was the first time he was handling a labor case. And as in a while, her contractions started slowing down and she was in a stable condition to talk to. So he nervously and in a very jittery voice, she asked my father who he was, and my father said that he was a doctor who had been posted to that clinic. And in return, my father also questioned her about her whereabouts, and she said that she was the daughter of a big zamindar in that village, and as that village did not have facilities for higher studies, high school, okay, she was sent to a neighboring village where there was a high school in order to pursue her higher studies, where she had met a boy, a classmate, and they had fallen in love. And it was quite late when she realized that she was pregnant. And when she told that she was pregnant to the boy immediately ran away. And by the time she could disclose this to her relatives and parents, it was too late to do anything. So that was how she was hidden secretly in this house in the middle of the farm, paddy farm, and she had to deliver this baby. So she requested the doctor, see, definitely once the delivery is over, they are going to either kill the baby and beat me violently. I'm so scared, so don't save me or the baby, just leave us alone and go away. But my father did not know how to respond initially. Then he realized, he thought and he told her, see, you cannot not allow a doctor to not do his duty. Okay, as a doctor, it is my duty to save lives of the patients who come to me. So you cannot prevent me from doing my duty. So quickly the instruments were ready, and again her labor pain contractions had started. Okay, and somehow with all the medical instincts that kicked in and the experiences which my father had as a student, when he had been seeing the operations that were done by his medical professors in college, somehow he managed to complete the delivery. And this girl was so tired and exhausted and weary, and so was my father. So she was completely not able to say a word. So she did not ask my father anything about the baby. But after a while, she just asked, is it a boy or a girl? For which my father said, it is a girl. So immediately after she heard this, she got so anxious and she started sobbing loudly. It's a girl again. She's going to be a cursed thing. She has no father, and the entire family, my village and my family, they are going to chase her away or either kill her. How am I going to handle this? So she started sobbing loudly, and after some time, she again quietened, and she realized that the baby was not crying. So immediately she asked my father what happened to the baby, for which my father quickly held the legs of the baby and tapped it on its back, and immediately the baby started crying. And as soon as the cries of this child was heard, the villagers who were outside the door unbolted the door and entered and said, "Doctor, now that the baby is born, it is time for you to leave." So my father quickly cleaned his tools and packed his bag, and the old lady was cleaning the room. And when he went out, the oldest man in that group handed over a 100 rupee note to him and said, "This is your fee, and I warn you, don't you dare open your mouth about what happened here. It has to be very secretive, okay?" So my father agreed to this, and as he was about to leave, my father just had a thought, and he said, "I have forgotten my scissors in the room, and I need it at my clinic tomorrow." So quickly he ran into the room, and he saw that this girl was teary-eyed and weeping and looking at her newborn child in a very worried manner, okay? So immediately my father pulled out that 100 rupee note the old man had given him, and he thrust it into the girl's hands and said, "See, please go away from here, go to Pune and meet one Mr. Gokhale at Pune nursing home and tell him that RH has sent you. He will help you get into a nursing course, and you can learn the trade and become a nurse and take care of your baby. Don't you ever stay back in this village, or they will kill both of you." So this girl said, "I do not know anything about where Pune is." So he said that, "Please go to the nearest city, that is Belgaum, and from there you can take a bus to Pune." And so he immediately said, "Good luck, my child," and he came out of the room, and the four men again dropped him back to his clinic. So now when he returned to his clinic, and he was dead tired, and he completely sleep took over, and he slept the whole day. And then when he woke up, he again, though the memories of what had happened the last night flashed back into his mind, and it was then he realized that he should do something about learning the trade of gynecology. Okay, he was not able to handle it as he had wanted to. So after a few years, he got married, and he shared his dream of becoming a gynecologist to his wife. And in course of time, we were all born. We were 4 children, okay? And when my father became 42, he had accumulated quite a big sum which would help him in pursuing his dream of becoming a gynecologist. So he left us, my mother and children, at Hubli, and he went to Chennai, Madras, to pursue his medicine, advanced course in gynecology at the Madras Medical College. And after completing his course there, he became one of the rarest gynecologists at that time. Okay, he was called RH Kulkarni. He had a passion for love and learning, and after he completed this course, he became quite a popular doctor, and he helped a lot of rural areas with this skill of his. And after a few years, he retired. Okay, but still he did not lose his interest in this field of learning and medicine. So he continuously kept going for conferences and various activities related to gynecology. It was at one such conference that once he met this woman. She was a doctor, a gynecologist, and she was presenting her work she had done in rural areas to the team of doctors at the conference. And my father was very impressed by her work, and he requested her to meet her, after the event. And he congratulated her at the end, and he told her that I'm very impressed with your work, and appreciated her. So as they were conversing, it was then that my father's colleagues called him. RH, are you going to come? We are waiting for lunch. So as soon as this girl heard this name, RH, she immediately asked the doctor, Doctor, is your name RH? And my father said yes. And immediately she requested him that, Doctor, my village is 40 kilometers from here, and I plead you to come accompany me and come with me to my village. It is very important. My father didn't understand head or tail of all this. Okay, so he was just thinking about why he should go with this girl suddenly, to her village. But after listening to her pleas several times, my father agreed, and he went along. And after they reached the village, he saw that she was living in a house which was also a nursing home. And as they entered, the girl called out to a woman in her old 50s, 60s, and said, Ma, this is the person for whom you have been waiting for all these years. This old woman immediately turned and looked at him and fell at my father's feet. And immediately he could sense his feet getting moist with her tears that were running from her eyes. Okay, and he lifted her, he helped her get up, and she looked at his eyes and said, Doctor, thank you so much. Do you remember me? My father was completely, clueless about who these women were and why they were talking to him and all that. But, this woman, she started giving him memories that flashed past his mind, that, were you in Chandagarh in 1943? For which my father said yes. And she said, Doctor, I was probably one of your first patients, and you helped me deliver a baby girl in the middle of the night. And that was when those memories started flashing in my father's mind. The first patient he had ever had in his life, and the delivery that he had not handled and all that. And as these memories were flashing past, she said that that girl was the girl whom she had delivered, and because of that past experience, she had made up her mind that she should make her daughter a gynecologist, okay, who would help people in rural areas. Okay, and my father was wondering at the thought that, see, a small appreciation, a small inspiration to a girl, a woman at that point had changed her life completely, okay, and led to this kind of a situation. So my father was really relishing that moment where he had realized that it was such an enlightening experience, that he had motivated someone to help society. And the woman said that her daughter had become a gynecologist, and she had been running this nursing home which was very successfully running, helping people from rural areas. And my father just turned with moist eyes. He turned around to see the name of the nursing home, and guess what it was, my dear viewers? It was called RH Diagnostic. I hope you enjoyed this story by Sudha Murthy. It's called A Life Unwritten. Thank you so much for listening.